हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू आवर चैनल कॉन्साइज कॉन्सेप्ट। एंड आज हमारा टॉपिक है कनेक्टिव टिश्यू। इसमें हम देखेंगे इंट्रोडक्शन एंड नेक्स्ट है क्लासिफिकेशन के बारे में। सबसे पहला इंट्रोडक्शन में आते हैं। इंट्रोडक्शन में इट इज़ द मोस्ट अबंडेंट टिश्यू प्रेजेंट इन आवर बॉडी एंड दे आर वाइडली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन आवर बॉडी। नेक्स्ट, कनेक्टिव टिश्यू नेम्ड it as a connective because it helps in the linking and supporting of different tissue and organ in our body. So it helps in linking. First is linking, next is supporting of different tissue or organ in our body. So connective tissue is named as a connective because it helps in linking and supporting of different tissue and organ in our body. Now next is the cell of the connective tissue secrete fibers. These fibers are also called collagen or elastin. These fibers helps in gives the strength to the connective tissue, flexibility, and elasticity. These cells of the connective tissue secrete fibers, and these fibers are also called collagen or elastin. So these fibers, what does these fibers do? These fibers provide strength, flexibility and elasticity to the connective tissue. Now next is these cells also secrete the polysaccharide which act as a matrix of this connective tissue, So till here we have discussed the main or basic, we can say the basic introduction of this connective tissue. First is it is widely distributed and most abundant tissue in our body. The connective tissue is named as a connective because it helps in the linking and supporting of this tissue, of different tissue or organ. It also secretes fibers which is called as collagen or elastin, which helps in support, providing strength, elasticity and flexibility to the connective tissue. Next is also secrete of polysaccharide, which act as a matrix of that connective tissue. Now coming to the classification part. So classification, this connective tissue is divided into three types: first, second and third. First is connective tissue proper. This is again divided into two types: loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. And this loose connective tissue is also of two forms, that is areolar tissue and adipose tissue. This dense connective tissue is also of two form, that is tendon and ligament. Now coming to second one. Second is supportive connective tissue. This is also of in two forms, that is cartilage and bones. Next is fluid connective tissue. This is also into blood and lymph. So these are the various types of connective tissue. Now I will discuss one by one all the key where it is present and what are the function of it. So first is I will explain connective tissue में कितना types होता है. सबसे पहला है connective tissue proper, next is supportive connective tissue and fluid connective tissue. Connective tissue proper has two types: loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. In this two forms are present: areolar and adipose. Dense में two forms: tendon and ligament. In supportive connective tissue two forms: cartilage and bones. Fluid connective tissue two forms: blood and lymph. Now coming to first, areolar tissue. This areolar tissue is present beneath the skin, that is, it is present under the skin only, and this helps as a support to the epithelial tissue. These areolar tissue contains, I will just write here, this areolar tissue contains fibroblast, macrophages, and mast cell. So this areolar tissue contains fibroblast, macrophages, and mast cell. Now what does this fibroblast means? The fibroblast, the cell which secrete fibers in the connective tissue, is called fibroblast cell. Macrophages, the cell which engulf, or we can say that is phagocytosis, the process which is done by macrophages. The engulfing of different type of foreign particles inside our body, that is called phagocytosis, that is done by macrophages. Now mast cell, the cell which secrete histamine, that is used during the inflammatory process or during different type of allergic reaction, that histamine is released. So that is done by mast cell. Now coming to adipose tissue. This adipose tissue is also present beneath the skin. These helps to store fats in our body. When there is excessive amount of nutrients, then these adipose tissue, that nutrients automatically get converted into adipose tissue. Next is dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue में दो forms होता है, tendon and ligament. Tendon मतलब when tendon are called that the part which attaches muscles to bones. Muscles को bone से attach करने में मदद करता है. For example, I will just draw a diagram here. Now see here, if this is two bones present in our body, then various types of muscles are present here. So these muscles are attached to bones by the help of tendon. And these bones are attached with the bones with the help of ligament. So here ligament are present. So when muscles are attached to bones, then they are called tendons, and when bones are attached with the bones only, then they are called ligament. Now coming to next, supporting connective tissue, that is cartilage and bone. Cartilage, the cells of these cartilage is called chondrocytes. These are present in the tip of the nose, in the ear, the outer ear, in the tip of the nose, are also present between the adjacent vertebral column in our body. The cell of the bones is called osteocytes, and these are helps to support our body. Bones helps to support our body, and in some part of our bone, bone marrow is present, which is a production house of the blood cell. So their production of blood cell is also take place. Some part of our bone, like if this is a bone, then in some part of our bone only production of blood cell take place, and these production, where the production take place, this is called bone marrow. And the production of what? Blood cell take place, and this is called bone marrow. So in some part of our bone, bone marrow is present, which is where the production of blood cell take place. So this is the function of bone, and where it is present, as you know, and the cell of the bone is called osteocytes, and cell of the cartilage is called chondrocytes. Now coming to fluid connective tissue. In fluid connective tissue, two forms are present, blood and lymph. In blood, it helps to transport different type of substances in our body from one part of our body to another. Next is lymph, watery fluid present in our body, which helps in the immunity and provide immunity in our body.